All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Olivier is here with us at Hacienda Bambusa. And what I'm going to do first, before passing it over to him, and we're going to take a little tour around Bambusa and answer your questions and just, I don't know, talk about the state of the travel industry and what it's like in Colombia. I'm going to share my screen and do a little just overview of how to get to Bambusa. I think a lot of you are familiar with it, but I just want to put it in perspective of where it's located and how you get there. Let me see, share my screen. You see that good? Yeah, okay, cool. So Hacienda Bambusa in Colombia. So where this sits in Colombia, Colombia is really interesting. The Andes here branch off into like 3 long spines, as you can see. There's the main spine of the Andes running along where Bogota sits, and then you have the middle Cordillera, and then you have the Western Cordillera. So this valley between these 2 ranges of the Andes, basically between Medellin and Cali, this is considered the coffee region, kind of right in the middle of this valley. You have the towns of Armenia in the south, Pereira in the middle, and there's another town called Manizales, which are like the 3 main coffee growing towns in this valley. Beautiful year-round subtropical climate, perfect. And as far as accessibility and getting here, so the easiest way is just from Bogota. If people fly in internationally to Bogota, there's numerous flights throughout the day that go from Bogota straight to Armenia. It's just a 45-minute flight. You land in a little town of Armenia, which Armenia maybe has like 350,000 residents. So it's kind of one of the main population centers in the coffee region. You land at the Armenia airport, and then it's about a 35-minute drive to Bambusa. And what's cool about it is at the airport, you literally drive out of the airport, you drive around the fence of the airport, and then you're just off on tracks through coffee plantations and cacao and tangerines, and you're in the countryside the entire way till you get to Bambusa. So you don't even really see the town when you come in there. And then in terms of connecting this area with other parts of Colombia, so they do have flights daily from Armenia to Medellin. So some people are also visiting Medellin, lovely city. I actually kind of prefer it a bit to Bogota. And then getting to Cartagena is the only one where you don't have direct flights from Armenia to Cartagena. And obviously both the Bogota coffee region and Cartagena make a perfect triangle to visit. However, a couple different ways you can do that. You can fly from Armenia to Bogota, connect instantly with a flight up to Cartagena. Or if people want to do this direct, we can drive them from Armenia up to the town of Pereira, where there are direct flights to Cartagena. So it's a 2-hour drive to Pereira to connect up to Cartagena. In terms of international connections, you know, the flights are operating now. You have flights into Medellin, into Bogota, into Cali, into Cartagena. And what's unique about this is if you do have any clients, like say in Florida, they do a couple times a week a direct flight from Fort Lauderdale to Armenia. It's unfortunately on Spirit Airlines, which no one really wants to fly, but hey, when you have a direct flight from Fort Lauderdale to Armenia, it's pretty nice to take advantage of, because there's so many Colombians from this area of the coffee region that live in South Florida. So that's a nice way to take advantage. People need a little getaway. You can just fly straight in the coffee region from there. And just to kind of set the stage of where this is located, yes, that's actually my background, but this is just one of the most gorgeous areas. It's lush green, perfect, you know, temperature and climate here to grow all these different food items, you know, coffee in particular. And so you have this stunning green emerald backdrop everywhere you look, which we'll see live with Olivier, or you can see him there now. And this is just some of the fields. So Bambusa actually is 500 acres, and it's a working hacienda that actually focuses on cacao, on the chocolate pod. They don't do coffee there, they do cacao, and that's becoming really popular in Colombia. It's starting to grow cacao, but Bambusa was the first really doing this. And then just a couple overview shots. I just want to give you some drone footage of this. This is a super small property, only eight to 9 rooms here. But let's go ahead, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to do more of a webinar. I'd want to hang out with Olivier. So let me stop sharing my screen. And Olivier, if you want to turn your mic on. And what might be useful for this, everybody, is on Olivier's video feed. Hey, Victoria, Olivier, do you want to unmute the mic?
Okay. Is it on?
There you go. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So what you might want to do for this tour, because if any background noise, like my dog starts barking, it'll flick to me. But with Olivier's square, and if you hover over him on the top right, there's those 3 little dots next to mute, and you can pin him, so it'll keep that video up there. So this is Olivier. He is the manager at Hacienda Bambusa. Just a little background with him. I've known Olivier, I don't know, what has it been, 15 years or more now. Many of you might have worked with him too. Olivier's obviously, that's not a very Colombian name because he's French, but Olivier took off, lover of Latin America like me, and he ended up in Buenos Aires. And I got to know him when I was at Geographic Expeditions. He was working at Colombia Activa DMC there, and he was my account executive. So, oh wait, why are you saying we don't see Olivier? Let me know if you guys can see Olivier. I know that someone just mentioned that they don't see Olivier, we just see me. Maybe because I'm the one talking.
Yeah, I guess so. Hello, everybody. Olivier here. Maybe if I talk, I will pop up. No, not yet.
Okay. Yes, now we see. So you guys go ahead and
Perfect.
hover over his screen and pin his video up. That will be best. Okay. But so Olivier, I worked with him at the DMC in Argentina. We did tons and tons of trips together. Loved working with him, super on the ball, wonderful guy. And then when I left to start the representation company, I kind of lost touch with him. And then he popped up years later on Skype with me saying, "Hey, do you remember me?" I was like, "Of course, how could I forget you? I loved working with you." And he said, I'm in Colombia now. My partner Diego's from Colombia, and I'm decided to move there and get into tourism there. So it was fantastic. You guys, the ones that saying it only shows me, if you just go hover over his little video, and then the top right, you'll see next to mute, there's like 3 little dots. Click on that and you can pin his video up. But I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself and pass it over to Olivier so he can go. Olivier,
Okay.
tell us around Bambusa.
Yes, thank you, Clark, for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Very happy to be here with you today. As you can see, we have a huge sun. It's really warm out here, so I'm sorry for everybody who is in winter right now. So the goal today is to do a small tour to show you a bit the hotel, show you the rooms, and see, so you can have a better feeling of the property. Just a few words before we start for your information. So we opened back in September last year. So we've been closed, of course, like almost everybody in 2020. We opened again in September, mostly with Colombian clients so far. So we've been working on, and we have all the staff since September. We haven't lost almost anybody from the team, which is very important for us because everybody always says that the best thing about Bambusa is the service and the staff. So that was a concern for us. So we were happy that we could keep almost all the staff, and we've been working. So it's exciting for us to have Colombian clients. We were not very used to it, but it has been fun. It has been very interesting, and we are still here, and we are ready for whenever you want to come to visit us or send us visitors. So before I start the tours, well, that's the main selling point of Bambusa, the view. We have the Andes mountain in the background. I guess you can hear the birds. We have them all day long. It's really tropical, really lush, as Clark was mentioning. And that's where we're set. And before I go starting to show you the house, I want to go backstage a little bit more and show you part of the team. So we actually don't have an official reception at the hotel because the whole concept of Bambusa is for you to feel at home. We don't want to look as a formal hotel also on purpose. So we do check-ins outside in the property. We don't do on the reception. We don't have formal uniforms on purpose because we really want people to feel like they're coming to a friendly home. So we do have an office, of course, for anything that you might need. Here we have the girls working, Diego, my partners that Clark was mentioning. So we really work together. I'm much more in charge of the sales, and Diego is much more in charge of operation, and I guess that the hotel works great. Here's someone very special I want to present you, Carolina. She's in charge of our reservation. She's the one making sure that we get all the details for the clients and that the reservation will work smoothly.
Hello, it's a pleasure.
You will love working with her, I'm sure of that. So let's start with the house. So this is the main restaurant, so to say, the breakfast area mostly, because then I will explain you that we actually don't have a formal restaurant. But that will be the main area. We have a table set for some clients. Actually, we have some clients in the house today, so we will try to avoid them so we don't disturb them. They're about to have lunch right now with that view that I showed you before. That's where we set the breakfast. We normally do a huge buffet, but of course this year for safety reason, we are not doing buffet, we are doing a la carte, but hopefully we will be back soon to offer our great buffet for breakfast. And we use that space also a lot for lunch and for some dinner. And then we get into the house. So the house is really traditional construction from the region, inspired by the Spanish when they came to Colombia. So you do have that traditional colonial patio in the middle of the house, and then it's a square house with the rooms all around the main patio. Construction is really, as I was mentioning, really locally done. The main thing is bamboo. That's why we're called Bambusa, and because bamboo grows everywhere in the region, and many construction are done out of bamboo. It's actually a very sustainable way of building houses because it's resistant from if you have any shaking, earthquake, it's resistant from temperature, and it's very cheap way of building and very natural. You just cut the bamboo and you build your home. So that's how Bambusa was made, and that's how most of the houses in the region are made. You will see here we have the first social area, which is called the library. We have many social areas all around the house that we'll show you later. And so in total, just to summarize, so you have it in mind, we have 8 rooms in total that will be distributed into 2 juniors, 3 superior rooms, and 3 standard rooms. I won't show you all the rooms so you don't get bored, but I want you to point out 2 standard rooms which are really practical for families. Let's go there. So those rooms that are connected, we welcome a lot of family. We are very family friendly. Maybe not too young kids because honestly you do have more activities. It's nicer to be, but from 5 years old, like people, the kids, they really have a blast here. We have cows on the property. We have a lot of birds, a lot of place to play around. So it's really family friendly. So those 2 rooms, as you can see, we have 2 standard rooms on each side. One is Canario and Caravan, and we have this locking system so we can make them connected families got that. And we will go into one of the standard rooms. So that most of the time we use that one for the parents, for example, with a king size bed, and we can use this one with 2 beds. It is set for king size because we have some parents tomorrow, but we can do 2 beds and it's perfect for the kids. You will see all around the house that the decoration has been actually done by Diego, my partner. He's the one who did it. It's really a balance between local artisans work. So this kind of lamps, for example, are handmade in a very small village of Colombia, and all the textiles also are from Colombia. So you have that very traditional spirit, but also touch of modernity and contemporary art. We'll speak again later about the art of Santiago Montoya and behind. The main thing we did when we took over Bambusa was to change all the beds, the water systems, and everything. We really wanted to have our clients to have the comfort and to be really comfortable, that's the word, despite being inside of the countryside. So that's the balance we are always looking for, authenticity with quality and comfort. All the rooms, including the standard rooms, they will have a private outdoor area. So we have the 3 standard rooms here. So you have your hammock, which is compulsory to have a nap when you stay at Hacienda Bambusa. And those ones are facing the garden, very tropical garden, as you can see. Also, this space, for example, is perfect for us for private dinners. We are really specialized in amazing settings for dinner. We are known for our amazing settings for dinner. And I will show you later more spaces where we do the dinners. But one of the ideas is, for example, is to use that private pergola to do private dinners. If you have clients who are on a honeymoon, or if they are celebrating something special, or if they just want to have a private dinner, because sometimes you do, we set the table here. We put like fireball on the garden. We put hand torch. We do a nice tablecloth and everything, and we use that space for private dinner. Our clients, they love that. They love it. Okay, so let's move back inside the house. Just before, I wanted to show you quickly a technical detail because I know we always have a question, and Black loves that system. The windows in the cover region, they don't have any glass. That's traditional construction. We don't need it because you just want open fresh air. We always have the question about the bugs because yes, we are in a tropical region. Yes, we do have some bugs at night, but we have that very smart system for bug screens. So that works perfectly. And actually, one of the details, keeping being technical, we have air conditioning in all the rooms, which is something that is not usual in the Gulf region, but it's kind of hot during the day. So our clients do love that. Okay, let's go back to the patio and I will show you more. So as I was mentioning, like all the rooms are really, they are not one on top of the other, but they are very close to each other. So many times we have people asking, are we on the same floor? Are we like, you don't really need to know that. Like you are on the same house, which is close enough for everybody. That will be one of the superior rooms. This one, actually, we are just finishing to clean it because we have some clients arriving this afternoon. This is Maria, our housekeeper manager. She's great. She's been with us for a long time already. And for your information, of course, we implemented all the protocols for safety right now. So we spray the entire rooms before clients arrive and everything. Just wanted to do a quick stop, as I was mentioning, the traditional construction of Bambusa. So we do have the bamboo that I was mentioning, and something very traditional also in the houses is this kind of woodwork. And that's handmade everything, and you will see it all over the house. That's a way to keep the windows without glasses, as I was mentioning, and that's a way to make it very pretty in the houses, and also to keep the air fresh and circulating in the entire house. Really smart. And now we will be in the main social area outdoor, which is the other side of the house. So we started actually with the back of the house, but that would be the entrance of the house, the main part. And as I was mentioning, you have social areas all around the property in different places. Our clients love that because you can have a drink at night without being on top of other clients if you do. But if you want to mingle with other clients, well, we just put the coats together and you can easily do it. And so we have spaces here, up there, in the front, by the swimming pool, and everywhere. And all the rooms I was mentioning, they have their own private terrace also. Okay, now let's keep going outside. Okay, sorry, I have a comment saying that some people can't hear me clearly. So we'll do something that I'm not supposed to do, but the sound will be much better. Anyway, we're outside, so I think we are fine. Let's keep going with the garden. As I was mentioning, we are having a beautiful sunny day today. The garden has been totally also redone since we started with Bambusa. It's by a very dear friend of us, Adelaida Osorio. She's a landscape designer and she's the one who took care of the garden. So we have a lot of tropical plants and flowers. It has been all designed. So we have butterflies on certain places, and some of the plants are done to put away some of the birds that you don't want to have. And we have flowers all year round. Few words about the weather, actually, as I was mentioning. We are in a tropical region, so yes, we can have rain sometimes. Most of the rains, they happen at night. Actually, it was raining this morning. You can't really see that. But when it rains in Bambusa, it rains at night, definitely. Barely during the day. And we do have a couple of months with more rain, like June and September and October, but then no problem at all. And even during the rainy season, it's not like going in Thailand that you will have pouring rain during the entire day, you go out. It's definitely not the case. So you can come all year round. Here's another part of the outdoor space, kiosco, as we say in Spanish. Kioscos are really traditional in the houses in the countryside. People love to have a space where they can do barbecues, they can do lunch together. So that's our kiosco. That's another social space, as I was mentioning. And we use that area a lot for activities also. Because you might know, we haven't mentioned activities a lot, but in Bambusa, we do offer a lot of activities outside the property and inside the properties. When I say inside the property, well, I mean inside the farm, which can be walking the 500 acres or going horseback riding. But we do also have activities in the house for people who don't want to move too much. And actually, we are sometimes doing a cacao tasting this afternoon, so the table is ready. We just grab the beans from the cacao fields in the morning, and then you come in the afternoon with the chef, and you try to make your own chocolate. That's a great plan, especially for kids. They love it. But adults also who do not love chocolate. They will have to come to try it. And so that's the end. And on that side, we will have the vegetable garden where we grow fruits and vegetables that we use in the kitchen. And that room over there, we can't go that far, I'm afraid, for the connection. But just relax. It is
Okay, guys, so they'll come back. We were trying this yesterday, and you know, the internet is not always totally reliable in these places, but they'll rejoin and get the signal back. We were actually, yesterday, I was with them, and we were like walking to all portions of the property, trying to figure this out, and we thought that was about as far as we could go. Okay.
Yeah.
You're starting to come back.
Hello again.
You're
Back?
still a bit frozen.
Clark, we're. Hello, hello.
We can hear you.
Hello, please, Clark, let us know when you can see us again. Like us.
All right, so we can hear you, but oh wait, it just changed. Why don't you walk back over towards the building a little bit, and we can look at the pool from upstairs.
Yeah, we just came back to the house. Can you see us now?
It's still frozen, the image. Maybe stop your video and restart it. That might help.
Okay, let's try. Okay, are we back?
No, it's just gray. Nope. We can hear you, but we're just seeing like a gray screen.
So maybe questions in the meet and log in again.
Yeah, okay, I'll answer some of these questions and talk a bit while you maybe log out and come back in again. So let me see, we had a couple, I mean, a lot of people here have been to Bambusa and everyone's just commenting about how much they love it. I agree. I mean, I feel like the first time I ever arrived at Bambusa, the thing about this place is just like it's a happy place. And I think what I love about it is just so unpretentious. It really, like you said, people always talk about, oh, I want you to make you feel at home, but that's not the feeling here. It's more like you're at someone's super cool home, like one of their cool vacation rentals. In terms of how long most guests might stay, you know, I've done trips with my boys here where we've just gone and spent like 5 to 7 nights just at Bambusa and based there, and every day gone off and done different adventures. I mean, you can go zip lining, you go visit all these different little villages around the area. coffee tours, and just the little towns are really unique. They're little agricultural towns. People are super friendly. You can just kind of sit in the plaza and watch the world go by. You can do float trips down the river on these bamboo rafts. It's like a traditional thing they do in the area. And there's great birding. So, I mean, like I said, I've been there with my boys and spent, you know, up to a week just doing things in the area. And it's great because we would go off half a day in adventure and then come back to Bambusa. I would chill around the pool. The kids would take off on bikes and just go cruise around, look at the cows, go watch the people work in the fields, help them collect cacao pods, throw them in wheelbarrows. So there's tons of stuff to do. In the local area as well, not far away, you have like Valle de Cacora National Park. You have incredible horseback riding. You know, I mean, people that have been here are actually going on. They're saying the best horseback riding tour. It is awesome. Like there's these beautiful tropical rivers that flow around Bambusa, and you're going through fields of banana, and then you're going along these riverbanks and cross rivers multiple times. So that bird watching expert, we actually have a naturalist guide at Bambusa named Camilo, who's incredible with birds, and not like on a, I think what's interesting about him, I'm not a birder myself. I kind of get a little bit bored with the whole bird watching talk, but he can make it really interesting by giving all these anecdotes about birds. What would be the must-see do while staying here for if you have just 2 nights? One, just enjoying Bambusa, watching the hummingbirds and chilling for a little bit. I would say going out and doing a specialized coffee tour, and then also visiting some of the local villages just to see what life is like in these small towns. And then probably going up to Valle de Cacora to see the wax palms. It looks like we got you back, Olivier, or are you still frozen? Olivier, turn on your mic and let's see if we can carry on.
Here we are back.
Okay.
Well, can you hear me?
No, you can see it.
Okay, so sorry about that. The house a little bit slow.
Yeah, Olivia, we're not seeing you.
Cuénteme la casa.
Why don't you go upstairs? I feel like yesterday that was the best signal, was upstairs.
Yeah.
But now we see. Yeah.
Are we back?
I can see a picture, but it's not like streaming video. Oh, there it is. Just stand there and let it catch up.
Okay.
I'm very sorry about that, but that's the point of being in the countryside. So we do have Wi-Fi for clients who need it inside the house, and inside the house it works actually great. But when you go outside, it's a bit weaker. It's true. But if you ever, so if we are back, let's doing the tour, and let me show you another room. We're okay? Clock is working. No? Okay. Okay, let's go. So that would be a superior room, which is our mid-size category. And as I was mentioning, all the rooms, so they do have that touch of modern and authentic at the same time, and they all have that outdoor space. What people really love is the fact that you have your balcony. I was mentioning weather is always great, so you do want. Oh, we just have a hummingbird visiting us. I don't know if you've seen that. I don't think so because they fly so fast. But we have hummingbirds all the time flying around. So as I was mentioning, that's a superior room, which is our mid-size category. And as you can see, they're pretty big. So to be honest, the standard rooms, they are small and cozy, as some people would say. But the super room and the junior suite, you really have big space. So now I want to show you something very important, of course, the kitchen. As I was mentioning, this is really your home So everything is open. If you need anything in the kitchen, just stop by and you ask here. You have Diego, our chef, Paola, working. And what are they making today? Oh, I think some empanadas. If you haven't tried empanadas, you need to try them. I think that will be my lunch. Gracias. All the kitchen in Bambusa is really fresh. We all focus on local products and we work with local farmers in the area. We have a short list of menu, but we change. We have like a suggestion every night, so people don't get bored if you stay 3, 4, 5 nights. But yeah, it's all based on fresh Colombian products with international twists. Before I go upstairs to show you the last room, I forgot on the way in to show you that's really nice project. On that cupboard, we have some cacao for sale, which is actually handmade by Amparo Montoya, which is the mother of Santiago and Camila, the owners, where she's also one of the owners of the property. And she makes the cacao in her home based on the beans from the farm. And she put it here, and all the money goes to a foundation in Bogota, helping young kids to get out of trouble. So that's a nice souvenir, and it's really yummy, really tasty. So now we are going upstairs. So it's basically 2 floors, the ground floor and the upper floor. We don't have elevator, but as you can see, that's really just few stairs. So if some clients can't do the stairs, well, we put them downstairs, but usually it works. Just want to do a quick stop on that flower arrangement. It's always here, and people love it, and take picture of it. All the flowers are grown here in the property, and just freshly clipped in the morning, and our housekeeping team, they make an amazing work all over the house. I guess you've seen it in the rooms and everything, but you always have fresh flowers. Actually, I had a client last year from New York. She said that flower arrangement will cost like hundreds of dollars in New York. Can I bring your housekeeper with me? I said no. We'll do just the entrance on this one. This room is called Azulejo. That's another superior room. I just wanted to mention something I mentioned before. All our rooms, they have king beds that can be split into 2 twin beds if necessary. So we are really flexible in all the rooms if you have people needing twin beds. It also has this private balcony. And we love to offer that room as Azulejo also for families with the next one, which is a junior suite, which is the one I'm going to show you now. And because there are the one and the balconies, they connect each other. So that's a great combo to have the 2 rooms together. They're not technically connected. So for young kids, it might not work, but for teenagers or other kids, no problem at all. Yeah, that will be a general view of the 2nd floor and our patio. Many times we have birds, we will drink in that fountain, and they will drop in the fountain and get like with all the feathers wet, and they will have that really funny. And that will be the last room that I wanted to show you, because the other junior suite, we have some clients in it, so I can't show it to you. That's the most comfortable room that we have in the hotel. It's called Barranquero. So it's kind of the same size as the one downstairs, but at the upper floor, you have a nicer view of the swimming pool, and the balcony is even more enjoyable. And something I want to show you, so we refurbished all our bathrooms 2 years ago, because we knew that was one of the weaknesses of Bambusa. So we refurbished all of them, the 8 bathrooms of them. As you can see, this one is pretty huge, with walk-in shower, all the tiles, handmade. Actually, Victoria, I forgot to present Victoria, who is taking the video with us. She's the manager. She's the one who did all the designs of the tiles that will be in the bathrooms. They are all different. Handmade. And bathrooms are pretty huge. Most of the rooms have 2 sinks, huge full body mirrors. And all the rooms, they will have the safe, coffee makers, of course we're in the coffee region, and the minibar. Let's go outside. Since we couldn't really see the swimming pool from downstairs because of the technical problems, let me show it to you from the upstairs. So yeah, that's the garden that I was mentioning when when we got cut off. And as Clark was saying, it's really important to plan some free time for your clients inside the property, because you do want to lie by the swimming pool sometime during your stay and just be around here. We had to take off some of the sunbeds for safety protocol, so we don't have the swimming pool overcrowded. But normally we have like some more sunbeds, and we have a small gazebo by the swimming pool also, where people can have lunch. And again, the hammock for the compulsory nap. Oh, I just wanted to show you that way on the balcony, as I was mentioning. So that room is connecting, it has a huge balcony, which is connecting to the balcony next door, which is a room I just mentioned before with the 2 beds. So that's why I mentioned that I really like it for a family, or group of friends, or whoever want to be together. But we can also close it, like if there is a small door, we close it. So if they're not together, you don't fit. So we are getting close to the end of the tour. So if you have some question and answer, please start chatting them. We will have a seat, and we will be more than happy.
Yeah. So yeah, we have quite a few questions, Olivier. I've tried to type back some of the simple ones, but ones that I think are important that everyone talk about. So elevation at Bambusa, this isn't super high. I mean, I don't even know what the elevation there. It's like probably 900 meters or something. Or
that would be 1,000 meters. In feet, help me. I'm not good at conversion.
It's like around, I don't know, 3,000 feet roughly.
Yeah,
so yeah, you're not elevation is not an issue here. I mean, this is warm subtropical, so you don't need to worry about altitude sickness with people being here. And then someone also, can you just reconfirm like when?
You get a little bit higher when you go to Salento, for example. Salento is getting close to 2,000 feet, but still not that bad. So it gets a bit cooler, but you don't feel any dizziness or anything. Remember, Bogota, yes, is a city with altitude. We are 2,600 meters, which is 5,000 feet, I think, something like this for Bogota. So, but it's not Peru.
Yeah. Okay. And then maybe this is even just you could give us an overall thing. First of all, hope, yeah, we do have bicycles on the property, so people can just take the bikes and go explore. It's a fantastic way to enjoy Bambusa. What about the coronavirus situation? I think Colombia is still on the 96, you need to have a PCR test 96 hours prior to arrival. Is that still the situation?
Yes, exactly. So the good news, the second wave of contamination in Colombia is ending. Like the figures are really dropping day by day, which is good. Last month was a bit more complicated. As a general thing, it hasn't been a disaster in Colombia like in other countries. Like we had, of course, contaminations for many people and so on, but numbers were not that bad as compared to other countries. And the strategy of the government here is to put a lot of restrictions for the day-to-day life in the cities to avoid lockdown. So for example, Bogota, you will have masks everywhere, like everywhere in the country, you need to wear your mask anytime that you're in social areas or if you're in restaurants and everything. In big cities, you have to get back home by 10 p.m. and you can't leave, like you have a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., nothing that will bother our clients. So you have some small measures like this, like you can go to a mall every day if you're in big cities, but you don't have huge lockdown in general Colombia. And so especially in Hacienda Bambusa, you almost don't feel it because you are outside in nature most of the time, so clients can just enjoy it. The only thing that you need to wear your mask when you're in social areas, and we take care of everything about the cleaning and everything. But the procedures, yes, you do have to, so far for today, you need to have PCR test to get into Colombia at no more than 96 hours, which is 4 days. So kind of enough time to get the results and to get on your flight. And you need to download an app to have on your cell phone, register online, putting your name and so on, so you can show it in the airport that you that's just to track kind of the people. When you unload the app, like all your data will disappear. So that would be the only thing. And inside the country, so I know especially to go back to the US, you do need another test to go back to the US. We've been doing it already. We had some clients from the US in the last weeks. So we help them to get the test here in Colombia, and so they can fly back home easily. So that we can do it.
I mean, even there in Armenia, there's like 5 or 6 labs that do it. So they can even, I mean, if people were finishing their trip on Bambusa or just going to Bambusa, they can easily get tested in Armenia before they go. But I mean, that's one thing about Colombia overall. I mean, working around Latin America is that I've always found that in Colombia, particularly their health and human services and like their public health efforts in Colombia are light years beyond other countries. I mean, even dating back to 2008 when I was traveling a lot in Colombia personally. I mean, you go into hotels, they made like food service workers that are working on a buffet line, they have to wear hairnets and masks. Like that was something that existed long before. If you go to actual public swimming pools, they make you wear hairnets going into it. So like they've always taken public health very seriously in Colombia. So it doesn't surprise me that they've done such a good job with this now. And it's also most of if you go buy any like pharmaceuticals all around Latin America, you'll see that most of them are manufactured in Bogota. So a lot of the like pharmaceutical companies and science companies and health corporations for Latin America are based in Colombia. So they have a really strong, medical industry in Colombia as well. So they've managed to handle it quite well. So let's move on to some other more fun stuff. So people ask about bicycles. Do you have your own horses or stables? I know they're not yours, but they're down the road, your neighbor, right? You do the horseback riding with?
Yeah, actually, the horseback riding is done where we live with Diego, which is a farm 15 minutes away from here, from Bambusa. And so it's not technically the horses from Bambusa, but that's where I live. And the horses are inside the farm, and you do like 2 hours tour approximately with John, with our horse guide. Is amazing, and really the sceneries are really a lot of fun because you have a lot of variety. You cross pineapple fields, you cross coffee fields, cacao, and so on. So it's really nice. And of course, when we finish it, that's the small detail. I'm sorry if the camera moves. We have a technical thing. I'll say it again. So when you finish the horseback ride, we send the chef from Bambusa and a waiter from Bambusa to be waiting with an amazing panoramic view at the end, with a really nice picnic and some fresh cold beer that you deserve after the horseback race.
Yeah.
So that's one of the
and
things.
then I guess perfect. And then one general question someone asked.
I'm a big coffee drinker.
There you go. So someone had just asked, well, how do you get around? How do you offer transportation? We haven't really spoken, I mean, about the excursions, but also the fact that you have your own DMC and tour operation around Colombia. I mean, Olivier, actually, besides Bambusa, you also have a villa in the colonial village of Barichara. You also manage a villa on an island outside of Cartagena. So yeah, you want to just talk about like, transportation, if people are touring around the Cauca region, you set that up, who your guides are, stuff like that.
Sure, that's a really good point. Yeah, to tell a bit more about the story, I won't stay long on that, but when we started with the company with Diego, we wanted first to focus on the GMC, but then we realized really quickly that there was a lack of infrastructure and service and operation in Colombia. So if you want to be a DMC, you need to have good services so you can subcontract and sell to your clients. If you don't, well, you do it yourself. So basically our company right now, the general company is called Nabu. We are much more considering ourselves not that much as a DMC, but we are getting into a global operator for Colombia because that's what we love to do. Like we love to be hands-on. We are not that much selling people. We are really people making the magic happen. That's where our cards are with Diego. So we started with Bambusa, really working with operation, and we loved it. So that's why we opened the property in Barichara to operate the entire Santander region, and we open offices in Cartagena so we can operate the Rosario Islands, which are really tricky, and that villa that you just mentioned. So our strength is really operation, not only hotel operations, but true operation all over the country. That's what we do the best. And so yes, we offer activities for Bambusa clients, and actually for the rates we have the 2 options. We offer Bambusa just half-board package because while it makes sense to include dinner, nobody will go outside for dinner, even if it's not that far, like you do want to stay here. So we do the half-board package for people who just want to book that, and then clients just stay relaxed, or you book activities on separately. Or we have an all-inclusive package, including the lodging, all the meals, the private guide and the private transportation during your entire stay. So we do have both options. And we also are about to launch some journeys, starting from Bambusa and finishing in Medellin. Starting in Bambusa, finishing in Medellin, because we have a lot of people who want to do that overland trip, which is really fun, getting inside the coffee region with a couple of nights on the way. And so we are about to launch that with all Bambusa service. So we'll have like nice meals, nice picnics all the way during 3 days to get to Medellin. So that's another example of how we do operation.
Yeah. And maybe this might help clarify a little bit. I hope you were saying, like, is the horseback trip at an extra cost? It really depends on how you're booking this, because, you know, you can book Bambusa directly with the team here, and we have different rates. We have, as Olivier said, just a bed and breakfast rate, and you want to do all the other excursions a la carte. We have kind of a fully inclusive thing that includes a private guide and your excursions in the area. But then also, you know, the other DMCs in Argentina, there's other great DMCs in Argentina. So you can, you know, Olivier has his Nabu DMC, but we've got Galavanta, we have Colombia 57, you have Neptuno. So a lot of the DMCs also work with Bambusa, and some of those DMCs just prefer to book the bed and breakfast rate. And then they have their own, you know, panel of experiences that they end up doing. But sometimes some of the DMCs just have Bambusa handle all the excursions. So it really just depends on how you're selling Colombia, what DMC you're working with, whether you're working directly with Olivier or you're working with a third party, will depend on what's included in the rates there. What else? Just defining again kind of the seasons. Yeah.
Sorry, Clark, I just wanted to mention one point that I just remember about extra cost. The only activity that will have an extra cost is a hot air balloon. I don't know if you see, I guess you see our pictures, but we do hot air balloon flights here. It's breathtaking just to live from the ground and to start to see all the coffee plantation and the mountain in the back. Like, the views are really amazing. That has an extra cost.
Yeah, that we need to talk about that. I mean, that is by far the coolest experience there. And there's only one commercial hot air balloon in Colombia, and he's based in this region. And I was actually at Bambusa when we met the guy. What's his name? Amancio is the owner, the pilot. Yes. This guy, I was there before Olivier was around with Santiago, the guy who his family owns Bambusa, and we were actually outside and heard the guy yelling. We heard this person yelling, and we were looking around where's the noise coming from, and I looked up and there was a hot air balloon above the Hacienda, and he was asking us permission to land, like right at that green area in the beginning of this transmission you saw Olivier sitting at, and the guy landed. And he had just moved from Spain. He actually was in the south of Spain, and he ran balloon tours in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco and all around Spain. And he married a Colombian woman and brought his balloon. And we were like, this is serendipitous, because he basically landed at a spot, and we were like, well, we have the perfect clients for you. So we've been working hand in hand with Amancio. I mean, incredible balloon pilot. And we do, sometimes we have groups come, and we'll just do like tethered flights straight from Bambusa, just up and down there. But the key is to go do a free flight. I mean, you have to get up, meet at 5:30 in the morning. The mornings are super tranquil there, and you head off on these balloon flights over the coffee fields and just wherever the wind currents take you. And it's amazing. They're going super high, and then he goes down and flies contour over the coffee field. So you're like going over, and there's people picking coffee in the field, and they don't even know you're there because you're silently floating above them. And we throw like lollipops down to kids. That's the real winner. If you really want to wow guests when they're in Colombia, have them end with doing a hot air balloon flight at Bambusa. It's incredible. Let's see what else we got. How many of each category of rooms you have?
That would be 2 junior suites, so the biggest one, 3 superior rooms, which are the mid one, and 3 standard rooms, 8 in total.
And we are going to, after this, we'll follow up with you, send you a recording of this. We'll also send you a recorded, more in-depth webinar that we did previously that kind of goes into way more detail about everything. And then we'll send you rates, and we'll send you the excursion booklet and all that stuff as well, so you have it. And then you also have Olivier's contact directly. Someone did ask, is it easy to go into town for dining? Are there dining options for luxury clients in town? I kind of answer this in the chat, but I mean, there are some restaurants, but I mean, clients don't literally leave Bambusa to go into town to eat. One, because the food's so incredible there, but it's also quite a drive.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, and then
but sorry, Clark, we do a lot of lunch outside of the property. So if you are doing a tour during the day outside. Of course, we will include the lunch either in a local restaurant or a picnic or something. So really the idea is to experience the region during the day and to enjoy Bambusa during the evenings. So you don't really want after to go back outside because you've done that during the day already. So you don't need it. And one of the things that I started to mention, but I haven't finished, about the restaurant. As I was mentioning outside, we are really specialized in special settings during the night. So I was mentioning the dinners that we can do dinners, the amazing tree that we love to do dinners over there. And we will put like candles everywhere and we do dinner outside. And we also have some guitar players that will come at night. So two very old guys from the small village. They are amazingly cute. And they will be playing the guitar during the dinner outside below the trees. So that's the kind of dining experience that we do. That's how our clients do not get bored after 3 or 4 days and they want to keep staying. And actually every day is a surprise. And it happens so many times that the clients, they will come down at 7 p.m. and say, so what for tonight? Because we have like new place and new setting. Even the staff, they have like new clothes. They change every night according to where we're doing the setting. So it's kind of a lot of fun and clients are expecting that at night. So that's how we don't get bored. To answer your question.
Yeah. Room service, you can do room service.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like if you want to have breakfast on your patio or something, absolutely. Yeah. It's a small place. I mean, it's very much like you said, you just want to go down and just pop your head in the kitchen and ask them, say, I would like, can you bring so-and-so to my room? Not a problem. And then maybe just talking about touring. I mean, people are asking like, what's the length of stay? I would just say like in general, people are doing a tour around Colombia where they're going to Cartagena and Bogota and other destinations. And this is one component. Maybe people are spending 2 or 3 nights on average. But then we do have some people, and we have a lot of repeat guests that have been here for a couple nights and then just come back to Bambusa just for a week because it's such a lovely place to base yourself. And I don't know, what's your, I mean, if people are unfamiliar with Colombia, Olivier, what's your go-to suggestion for people maybe selling Colombia for the first time?
Honestly, we're almost not getting any clients for 2 nights now, not because we don't want so, but like people are really asking for 3 nights. All the feedbacks we had when clients were staying 2 nights, they were saying that's not enough, definitely. So I would say 90% of our clients will stay 3 nights. We love, there is a flight from Bogota to Armenia, which is at midday. So you fly directly, it's like 35 minutes flights per short. You get to Armenia airport at midday. You arrive on time for lunch here in Bambusa. You have lunch with the night view. And in the afternoon, you do the walk around the Hacienda to go to the cacao plantation. That's the perfect day one. Because, you know, you don't want to get on a car after the flights. So you just fly in and then you walk, you stretch your legs. You go with Camilo, the guide that you mentioned before. That's the perfect day one. Next day, you will do a full day tour in the region. So yes, then you get on a car with your guide and you will go to Salento. You will go to the Cocorá Valley. You will do some coffee farm visit, for example. That will be a full day tour outside the property. Then you come back to Bambusa. And the next day, you will stay inside the property, especially if you want to do the horseback riding. So you're leaving like at 10, you do the horseback ride, you have the lunch over there in the natural reserve. You will be back in Bambusa like at 2 or 3, swimming, and then you can leave the next day. That's, to me, the perfect plan. But then we have like a full menu of activities, and so people can fine tune and adjust it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you find, and I feel overall, I mean, back in the days when I was at Geographic Expeditions and selling Colombia, always encourage people to go to the coffee region and stay at Bambusa. And it was the thing, like I see Colombia, most people decide to go to Colombia. They want to go to Cartagena because in every single travel magazine, Cartagena is wonderful, but that's kind of like the Machu Picchu of Colombia, which is what attracts people to come to Colombia, and they spend a couple days in Bogota because they fly in there, or Medellin if they're flying internationally. But adding this component of the coffee region is the one that they're kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then after the trip is when people are like, that was my favorite part of the trip, and that was probably the most authentic, uniquely Colombian aspect of the trip, was staying in the coffee region. And I agree, it's just it's a lovely surprise there. I mean, just how friendly the people are, how much there is to do there, how gorgeous it is, and just this like wonderful laid back atmosphere of Bambusa. And the fact that, like you were saying, Olivier, you go spend 2 nights at Bambusa, there's so much to see and do in the area. and on the hacienda itself that people feel shortchanged on it. So they always want more time. So adding the extra nights is really a key to just having a bit of downtime at Bambusa, because I mean, you could pack a weekend touring around the coffee region, but people really love just spending some time at this property. It's so tranquil and relaxing. So definitely factor that into trips. Would you say?
If you don't have another question, or before you find the next one, I forgot to mention something during the visit, and let me show you. You might have noticed during the entire tour that we have paintings of contemporary art all around the property. Forgot to mention a bit the story, but actually we do not own Bambusa. The owners, they are Colombian family, the Montoya family. So the parents, Diego and Amparo, they are the one who take care of the cacao fields. Amparo, the lady making the cacao that I showed you before that we do for sale. And the son, Santiago, is the one who turned this house into a hotel about 10 years ago, together with his wife, Camila. That's how they met Clark. Actually, Clark was first dealing with Santiago and Camila when they were a hotel. Then they closed for a couple of years because Santiago is a contemporary artist. So all the paintings that you have in the rooms and everywhere in the property, they are from Santiago Montoya. So that's the touch that makes the difference. And Santiago now lives in Miami together with Camila. So that's why they closed by the time the hotel. And that's why we took it over and opened it again. I just wanted to mention that so you understand why we have such an eclectic decoration.
Yeah, the art is amazing. And Santiago Montoya is an artist, incredible. You actually look him up online, Santiago Montoya. He works with a lot of money. He takes currency bills from all around the world and creates these incredible mosaics. But okay, I think like the questions are kind of dying down and we're coming up on an hour here, which I didn't expect us to do, but this is awesome. It was just great to hang out with you, Olivier, and be at Bambusa.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it worked great. We had one little technical glitch, but that stuff happens. And yeah, it was just refreshing to do it in this format rather than a PowerPoint presentation. So we'll keep doing these. Maybe I'm thinking when you're next up in Barichara, let's do a live one from the villa in Barichara, and maybe even walking around the village would be super fun to talk to people. So everybody, we'll follow up and we'll send you, the excursion booklets, rates, all that stuff. And yeah, just let us know if you have any other questions. And then one last thing, I know you're shy, but Victoria, let's see you, our camera woman who's been doing this.
Oh,
Show
actually,
yourself.
we switched. So we have Carolina again on the camera.
Let's see Carolina.
Yeah, we have Carolina again. Here she is. I mentioned from the reservation. She's the one who's been helping now today.
Yeah. Okay.
And Victoria was around also.
Okay. Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. That was great. And again, Kirsten's going to be doing these live from Costa Rica next week at all the properties. So that'll be super fun to visit all the properties in Costa Rica and see wildlife and all that. So we'll include links to those if you haven't already registered for them in the follow-up email. All right, Olivier.
Great.
Have a good one.
It was great talking to you, Clark. Thank you, everybody, for coming with us. And please start to send some clients. July and August, the weather is great in Colombia. It's a very short flight from the US. July and August is perfect to come to Colombia. So when you all have your clients with vaccination, you can send a lot of them, and we need them. Please. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.